Hello, welcome, gorgeous beings of light. This is Elmara, here with you for the 100 Miracles in 100 Days project and the 5th Dimension activation and effortless manifesting quickie. So let us begin by taking a big, deep belly breath in, or a soft and gentle breath if that's what you can manage. Follow the breath in through the nose and then out through the mouth, letting go of everything that's outside this moment. Please do this several times. Now when you've returned your awareness to within you, can you please breathe in through the nose and out through the nose? And if you lose focus and drift off, bring your awareness back to your breath going in through the nose, holding it for as long as it's comfortable, and going out through the nose. And it is a way to train yourself to keep your awareness within. For those of you who are new today, landing here today, it is best to just breathe, listen and release if anything comes up while we're speaking, because although I'm just telling you lots of wonderful miracles, there is heaps and heaps of source codes embedded in my voice to help activate whatever needs to be released in you so you can rise up into your highest being of light. I have been meditating for a good 4 or 5 hours this morning, so this is probably going to be a powerful one as well. So just keep breathing for me. And just to begin with, we're going to do the first step of my 5th Dimension meditation. Hopefully this will be a quickie recording today because I do want to get back to the work I'm doing on the other side. Just breathe in, bring your awareness into your hands. Oh, by the way, this is best done standing barefoot on Mother Earth if you can, in the early morning sun, best at dawn. But if you can't do that, then you can do it seated. And imagine you're standing barefoot on earth, and if you're unwell, you can lay on your side and let the energy run up and down your spine. So just to begin with, I want you to place your awareness in your hands and breathe in. Point your hands up to the sun and breathe out, and tie the energy from your hands around the sun. Breathe in and bring all that gorgeous source light from the sun down through your crown. Breathe it out into your being, and breathe the last 5% out through your feet and into the core of Mother Earth, where there's another big golden sun, and you just take a scoop of that energy from that golden sun in the core of Mother Earth and bring it up with all the minerals and nutrients and everything you need to sustain your physical life here on Earth. And breathe that Earth energy out into every cell of your being. Take the last 5% up to the sun. Again, bringing that source light down from the sun. Breathing it out into your 100 trillion cells and your 100 trillion telomeres, and taking the last 5% down into the earth. And bring your awareness back up from earth. And breathe out into your being. Breathe in again, one last time. Well, I want you to continue this as I go on down from the sun, in through the crown, breathe it out and activate your 100 trillion cells and your 100 trillion telomeres. I'll tell you about those in a moment. And breathe out. Take the last 5% down into earth. Breathe in and bring that energy all the way back up from earth. Breathe it out into your being. Take the last 5% up to the sun. So that's it. That's step one. So simple. Spirituality is simple until a whole bunch of people decide to make it complicated. It's simple because it's who you are. It's who you were born as before everybody decided to tell you that it's about what you look like or how much money you have or what sort of house or car you drive, or even worse still these days, they put you in boxes of bipolar and ADHD and all that kind of stuff. So just breathe when we continue that breath up and down. And if you want to get rid of all that stuff that I just spoke about, go back to the very first activation we did in early December, where it's just, it doesn't have any miracles with it. It's just a awareness activation and effortless manifesting. And it will help you connect into the essence of who you are. And telomeres, just do some research on them. Telomeres are just these little tiny sender receiver at the end of the DNA. And as you get older, they get shorter and shorter. The reason they get shorter is because you're further away from your soul. And the more you activate them with source light, the more they lengthen and the longer your life will be. And the more young and vibrant you look. That's why I do not look like a woman in my mid-60s. Because I've been working with the telomeres for about maybe a decade. So, but anyway, there's lots of new stuff around about telomeres. So if you Google it, sometimes it even comes up as a misspelt word, but there is more information about them available online now. And I strongly resist, if you haven't, strongly suggest resist. I'm so spaced out. I'm sorry, everybody. I might get my words mixed up today. I strongly suggest that you do some research into it if you are interested in rejuvenating and regenerating your entire body and looking 20, 30 years younger, etc., etc. Collapsing the old timelines of growing old and disease and all that crazy stuff. So we will be doing some really fantastic work with that later on in the year. But for now, just breathe. Follow that breath in through the nose and out through the nose, and just continue that up-down movement now, while I go on and give you today's quickie miracle number 50. I had planned for it to make it a nice big one, but I am so spaced out's not the right word, but so blissed out is a better word. I am so blissed out that I just couldn't cope with a big miracle with big stories. So I'm just going to tell you another little quickie, all about, again, things happening in a way that you don't expect them to, if you just let go and let God, and that everything is always taken care of. So I've spoken before that I had to do house sitting for a while because a woman had threatened to slice my throat open, and so it was the only way I could stay on the run, and she couldn't really find me, and I had no fixed address. Well, I did, but it was down at my friend's place down in Victoria. And the fires had just finished on the south coast of New South Wales, so I'd spent 6 weeks just stopping that fire from going, and you can find that miracle back somewhere. That had finished, and as my car, I told that miracle as well, the alternator miracle that broke down, and so I had this gap, and COVID was just hitting, and I just still can't believe how people the blooming media just went from 24 hours a day fire stuff to 24 hours a day COVID stuff, and it was just a fear frenzy, and people were just like crazy about a virus. I was going to say something, but I'm not. It's a virus. Colloidal silver will kill all viruses, including herpes, AIDS, all of that stuff, all of those really heavy-duty viruses, Ebola virus. Reiki or Rika virus. Whole lot. Will kill them all in 6 minutes. But anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about today. So once the alternator and my car's fixed, I have a booking for a lady who had to go down to hospital a couple of hours away, and I was looking after her little dog for a week. So I go out and buy a week's worth of food, put it in the fridge, settle into getting to know the puppy dog. That afternoon I start getting frantic phone calls from the woman, and eventually I picked it up. I was doing stuff, I was meditating and stuff. I came back and found 5 phone calls from her, and she was saying that her operation had been cancelled and she was coming back and I need to get out of her house. I was like, right now? And she says, yes. And I was like, oh, hang on a minute, I've just bought a week's worth of food. If I leave your house now, I'm going to lose $100 worth of food. Can I not just stay here and organise somewhere to live and use your fridge until tomorrow, if that's okay? And she was furious with me that I even had the audacity to ask that. And but my real reason was that I needed some time where I could, organise something else. Anyway, she finally gets back to her house at 6 o'clock and she's really rude to me. And I'm polite and kind to her, and she's still obnoxious. And she goes, you make sure you're gone by 8 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't believe it. Like I was going to take care of her animal for a week, and that would have saved her probably at least a few $100 at a shelter. 7 at 30, $40 a day is at least, $300 to have a little dog cared for elsewhere. Anyway, that's the kind of people that I came across when I was house sitting, and I was really just doing that until something else manifested, because it was a bit hard to do spiritual work when you're kind of on the move all the time. Had I known what I know now about doing things like online courses, I probably would have got some of that done during that time, but I don't have great computer skills because it's not what I was, I didn't even know what a computer was until I was in my 40s. Well, that's not true. I knew before that, but I didn't know how to use one until I was in my 40s. So anyway, back to this miracle. So I knew based on evidence that had been presented to me in the past month or so, like saying to God, if you want me to drive into a fire zone, then open the bloody highway, because I'm not driving 7 hours round to get there, and the next day the highway opens or whatever. So I knew that if I asked Source, they would provide a solution for me, because at that point, at 8 a.m. in the morning, I was technically going to be homeless and still have all of my food in a hot car or whatever. So I start sitting there and have my computer open. I put up an advertisement saying that I was available for house sitting, that my house sitter just cancelled if anyone needed something urgently. And I just sat there going, come on, God, come on, God, find me somewhere to stay. Come on, God, find me somewhere to stay. And of course, I just paid $1,000 out to get my alternator fixed, etc., etc. So I didn't want to spend any extra cash on a motel room. I also just don't like staying there. They're just, the energies in them are just a bit too wacko for me, because they may clean them, but they very seldom clean the old energy out of them, and I spent half my night doing that. So anyway, so back to this. So I'm sitting there at my computer going, come on, God, come on, God, come on, God, come on, God. And this is what happened next. So a woman, which I didn't, was on a page, a group page, a community page that I wasn't on. There was a woman that put, oh, I need a really good house sitter. Can anyone recommend one? And I went, oh, here we go. This is it. Oh no, that's not what happened first. So then I didn't catch that. But a lady who I had looked after her home and her pussycats for 6 months said, "Oh look, I strongly recommend Elmira. She's absolutely brilliant." Um, but this is the bit that sometimes just blows my mind. She then sends me a message going, "Oh look, this lady's looking for a house sitter, Elle, but for some reason I couldn't tag you in the post." It's like, This is at 9 p.m. at night. I've been sitting there since about 5 p.m. going, "Come on, God, get your shit together and find me somewhere to stay. Come on, God, get your shit together and find me somewhere to stay." And for all of you who are being judgmental right now, you should know that just proves that God isn't judgmental, only human beings are. And so Elaine had said to me, "I've tagged you in this post," and I wrote back and said, "Oh, Elaine, I'm so grateful because I'm a little bit homeless at the moment." She writes back and goes, "What do you mean you're a little bit homeless?" And I went, "Well," and I told her about what had just happened, how I was meant to be doing the sit and the woman had cancelled, her operation had been cancelled and she needed me gone by 8 o'clock in the morning and I had nowhere to go. And she takes a little while to write back. She tells me later she was considering asking me to come stay back at their house, but she's got 3 kids. And she writes back a bit later and goes, "Elle, please, if you can't find anywhere, why don't you just you can go stay for a week down at my parents'. If you don't find anywhere, you can go stay at my parents' beach shack in South Darra." So I said, "Oh," and in the interim of that, the lady who was looking had sent me a message going, "Hey, Elmira, I'd like to talk to you about house sitting." So I said, "Oh, the lady that you recommended has already come back to me. I'm sure it'll all be fine, but if it's not, thank you so much for your kind offer." Anyway, by the time I get hold of the lady the next day, who's a physiotherapist or something, and she, in between appointments, I finally caught her. She said, "Oh, no, it's not till like the 10th of March. And I went, "Oh, okay then, thank you." "That's fine. Yes, I'm free. I'll book it in. We can talk later." And I still sitting in the car going, "Come on, God, get your shit together and find me somewhere to live." And by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I still don't have anything. I text Elaine and said, "I still don't have anything. Is there any chance I could take advantage of your really kind offer?" She goes, "Yeah, come around and pick up the keys." So I go around to pick up the keys and she says to me, "When is your next sit?" And I said, "Not till the 1st of March, which was 2 weeks away. It was about the 15th of Feb. And she says to me, "Here, Elle, why don't you just go take a holiday? We don't want," I said, "I can pay you this amount of money. Holiday places are typically $200 a night or whatever. I couldn't afford that." She goes, "No, Elle, you just go have a holiday. You don't have any pets to look after. Just go have a holiday." She goes, "I have to tell you, the place is probably a mess. We had half an hour to get our stuff out because they were evacuated because of the fires." She goes, "We had half an hour. So you might have to throw some old stuff out of the fridge or whatever." And that's exactly what happened. They hadn't had time to clean. I said, "Don't worry about it. I'll clean it for you." And so out of nowhere, from looking down the barrel of sleeping on the beach or whatever, I get this 2-week stay at this gorgeous beach shack where I could hear the ocean every night. And the kangaroos came onto the lawn to have a nibble on dusk. So breathe for me. There is always a perfect solution for everything. And this time, although it was a difficult time, I'll tell another story about that tomorrow, but it taught me to trust even to the last minute that everything is provided for you, especially when you're on the run from some crazy woman. So I want to remind you that we are going to be doing a 10-week online course to connect you to the 5th dimension and teach you, firstly, the 5 steps of the 5th dimension, then how to use the 5th dimension to create anything. how to connect you to your guides, angels, higher self, how to jump timelines, how to work with your chakras in the fifth dimension, which is a completely different gig, and all of that. So if you're interested in joining us for that program, which will start early March, please write to me through the contact form on my website, www.elmaraseraphin.com. We still have some places left, and we would love you to join us. If what I'm speaking about here is ringing any bells with you and you feel like you'd like to tap into the magnificence of who you truly are, because basically it's a 10-week course to awaken the magnificence of who you truly are and all your spiritual gifts, talents, and abilities. So let's just I'm just going to send you a blast of this fifth dimension energy so we can bring this miracle up to my favorite number of 2222. And if you're burping, yawning, sneezing, farting, they're all good signs that energy is moving. And all you have to do is breathe. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose and follow it. It's a really, really good sign if you're yawning and carrying on, because it's showing you that those codes that I spoke about are actually there. And it's healing you from just actively listening to the miracle. Just breathe. There's some man talking very loud. Hopefully it won't be on my recording. Beautiful. Okay, that's us done for another day, you gorgeous beings of light. I wish you a truly, truly blessed day, and sending you so much love and infinite blessings for today and always. Love, love, love. My deepest love and richest blessings to you always, and bye for now.